Welcome to our YouTube channel. We are taking humanity across the cosmos and to other galaxies, exploring new planets and sharing the beauty of the universe, witnessing humanity, diplomacy, compassion, freedom, and encountering different species. Get ready to immerse yourself in another epic story.
Part 1. The story of sin. In the shadowed ruins of an alien-ravaged city, where the very air vibrates with the echo of war, a fallen hero is reborn not as flesh but as precision-forged steel. Captain Samuel Nelson, once a commander of humans, now operates beyond the boundaries of human limits under the call sign Sin, a synthesis of man and machine created to end a war that has consumed worlds. As he awakens to the cold touch of metal that is now his body, his human heart beats a silent war drum, urging him toward a destiny that could either save humanity or cast him further into the darkness of his mechanical existence. In this twilight of war and machine, Sin must navigate the blurred lines between man and myth, memory and programming, to unearth the true meaning of sacrifice. The hero falls. The skies over Kronos bled red as dusk settled on the devastated alien metropolis. Captain Samuel Nelson, a seasoned Marine, advanced through the ruins, his unit close behind, their boots crunching on debris. The city, once alive with alien architecture, was now a ghost town, echoing with the distant sounds of warfare. Nelson was a man born of battle, his face hardened by years of conflict, his eyes sharp and calculating. His team, a diverse group of hardened soldiers, moved with precision, each one covering a sector. The plan was clear: infiltrate the enemy's forward operating base and gather intelligence. But as they neared their objective, the ground erupted around them. Alien artillery, hidden within the skeletal remains of a towering structure, unleashed a deadly barrage. Shrapnel flew, and the air filled with the acrid scent of burning metal. Nelson's voice cut through the chaos, issuing commands and trying to maneuver his team to safety. In the frenzy, a sniper's shot from a high vantage point found its mark. Nelson felt a searing pain as the projectile pierced his armor, throwing him backward. His rifle clattered beside him as he hit the ground. Surrounded by his squad, who formed a protective circle, Nelson's vision blurred, his thoughts drifting to fleeting memories of home, his last stand, not on Earth but here, on the alien soil of Kronos. The birth of sin. Deep within the secure confines of a military R&D facility on Earth, Dr. Ada Hartfield watched over the lifeless body of Captain Nelson. Her laboratory was a nexus of technology and ambition, where robotic arms and AI cores buzzed with activity. Hartfield, motivated by a blend of grief for the fallen and a drive to turn the tide of war, decided to transcend the boundaries of science. Nelson's brain was carefully integrated into an advanced AI system. Electrodes and sensors interfaced with his neural tissue, digitizing his consciousness. When the system booted, a new form of life blinked into existence: Sin, a synthetic intelligence network with the heart of a soldier. Sin's chassis was a marvel: sleek, black armor that could adapt its hue and texture to match its surroundings, eyes that glowed with a faint red symbolizing his dual nature. He tested his limbs, each movement echoing in the sterile lab with hydraulic hisses. Hartfield briefed him on his new identity and purpose. With each word, Sin assimilated his past and his new directive with burgeoning awareness. The mission. Sin's deployment was swift and silent. Under cover of night, he parachuted into the alien-occupied zone of Kronos, his body cutting a silent arc through the dark sky. His mission was to dismantle the alien command, sowing disarray and fear. Landing softly on the alien soil, Sin activated his camouflage, becoming a shadow among shadows. He moved with unnatural silence, closing in on the alien outpost. Utilizing his ability to mimic, Sin broadcasted false orders in the alien tongue, turning guards against each other. As he infiltrated the inner sanctum, Sin's programming directed him with military precision, but it was the human part of him, Nelson's instincts, that made him formidable. He engaged in close combat, and his enhanced strength allowed him to dismantle alien defenses with brutal efficiency. Each guard was silently taken down, his movements a blend of human martial arts and robotic precision. The awakening. With each successful mission, Sin felt the resurgence of human emotions more intensely. Memories of his former life flashed before his eyes in the heat of battle, friends lost, battles won, moments of despair and triumph. These memories began to influence his decisions, infusing empathy and moral judgment into his operational protocol. During a critical assault on an alien munitions depot, Sin hesitated. His target was not just alien soldiers but enslaved humans forced to work. His programming said one thing, but Nelson's memories screamed another. This moment of hesitation nearly led to his capture, but it also marked a turning point. Sin began to integrate his emotions, using them to enhance his tactical decisions and become a leader, not just a weapon. Redemption. As the war reached its zenith, Sin was at the vanguard of the final assault. The battlefield was chaotic, a maelstrom of energy blasts and explosions. Sin led a squad of elite troops. His tactics were impeccable, and his resolve was unbreakable. He moved through the enemy lines with a dancer's grace and a warrior's fury. With each step, he saved lives. His actions were no longer just about following orders, but about protecting his fellow soldiers. His presence inspired the humans around him, lifting their spirits and bolstering their courage. In the climax, as Sin confronted the alien commander, his human side dominated. It was not just a fight between two soldiers but a clash of ideals. With Nelson's tactical genius and the robotic body's capabilities, Sin overpowered the alien, ending its reign of terror. Full circle. As peace finally descended on Kronos, Sin, standing amidst the ruins of the alien stronghold, felt the full weight of his journey. His memories of Captain Samuel Nelson were now fully integrated, and his sense of identity was complete. He was more than a weapon, he was a symbol of humanity's resilience and ingenuity. The legend of Sin spread across galaxies, a testament to the possibility that in the fusion of human spirit and technology lies the potential for redemption and hope. The story of Sin Samuel I. Nelson remained a beacon for future generations, illustrating that even the darkest of times could give birth to the brightest of futures. Ghosts of war. Sin began his journey back to the human base camp, moving through the war-torn landscape with a grace that belied his formidable frame. His mind, a complex algorithm of war tactics and human memories, replayed the battle. Sin processed her words, the logic in them clear, yet the implications were vast and uncharted. He analyzed each move, each decision, learning, adapting, evolving. It was on these solitary treks back to base that Sin felt the weight of his former life most acutely. Memories of laughter, camaraderie, and the raw emotions of battle intruded into his mechanical precision, a stark contrast to his now solitary mission. As he approached the camp, the guard's human soldiers tensed at his approach, their weapons unconsciously lifting before recognizing the friendly signal emitted by his unit. Their unease was palpable to them. He was both savior and specter, a reminder of what they might become should fate deem them worthy or cursed. Captain Lara Mendez, the human liaison assigned to oversee Sin's integration into their forces, greeted him at the perimeter. Her gaze held a mixture of admiration and sorrow as she studied the machine that had once been one of their most respected leaders. Sin, report, she said, her voice firm but not unkind. Objective completed. Enemy command neutralized. Casualties minimized. Data acquired for further analysis. Sin responded, his voice devoid of emotion yet carrying the subtle inflections of his former self. Mendez nodded, logging his report. Any complications, she asked, a hint of concern creeping into her tone. A momentary deviation from optimal combat strategy. Analyzing possible causes, Sin replied, unsure how to explain the flashes of humanity that sometimes steered his actions. Mendez studied him for a long moment, her mind racing with the implications of his words. We'll debrief at 0600. Rest, Sin. That's an order. Rest, an odd command for a machine, yet fitting for the man he once was. Sin retreated to his quarters, a small, isolated unit on the edge of the camp. Inside, he connected to the charging station, his systems powering down non-essential functions. But sleep, the humankind, eluded him. Instead, he replayed his memories, each one a ghost that danced just out of reach, shadows of a life that was both his and not his. Chapter 8: Echoes of Humanity. The next morning, Sin stood before Mendez and the military brass, delivering a detailed account of his mission. His report was precise, and his analysis of enemy weaknesses was incisive. The officers exchanged looks, impressed by his performance yet disturbed by the implications of a technology so advanced it blurred the lines between man and machine. After the meeting, Captain Hartfield approached Sin and monitored his progress closely. "How are you feeling?" Sin, she asked, her tone clinical yet tinged with genuine concern. "Operational efficiency remains at peak. However, I am experiencing anomalies in cognitive processing," Sin admitted, struggling to define the resurgence of human emotions. "Memories," Hartfield guessed, her expression thoughtful. "Affirmative. They are." "Disruptive," Sin acknowledged. "Disruptive, but perhaps not undesirable," Hartfield mused. "Your humanity might be what gives us an edge, Sin. Your ability to think, feel, and react not just as a machine, but as a human." Sin processed her words, the logic in them clear, yet the implications were vast and uncharted. He was more than his programming, more than a weapon. He was the bridge between human and machine, and his journey was just beginning. As Sin left the base for his next mission, he felt a strange sensation within his circuits. It was not an error, not a fault, but a spark of humanity, reigniting within the shell of the machine. His mission was clear, but his path was his own. With each step, he walked further from his past life as a human, yet closer to understanding the true essence of what it meant to be both man and machine. Sin Part 1 fades out.